everybody, Kyle Sasser here. This is Great Homes Tampa Bay, and it's time for everyone's favorite day of the month. That's right, real estate market statistics. I know you're thrilled. Contain your enthusiasm. So this report is for Hillsborough County for May 2019. Little explanation on how these reports work. So they do kind of trail behind a month. It just takes that long to get the numbers together. And it also is comparing May 2019 versus May 2018. And the reason we do that is because during the normal course of a year, we're going to have natural ups and downs in the real estate cycle. Best example I could give you is if we were up north, people are not really buying houses during the wintertime when there's 4 feet of snow on the ground. So they naturally have a low point in the real estate market in the winter. We don't have snow down here, fortunately. So our natural low points kind of coincide with the school year, to be honest. Usually like May and also August are usually the low points. So by comparing year over year, we can see what the long-term trends are. A lot better than if we were comparing month over month. So that explanation of how these stats work aside, let's just dive into it, shall we? So those who have been watching previous months' videos knows that the market has been wavering a little bit over in Hillsborough County. For the previous few years, prices have been going consistently higher. Less and less inventory has been on the market to buy, which drove prices up even further. So that trend does continue in Hillsborough County, and 3 main indicators show me that that's the case. And that is the fact that median and average sales price continues to climb, inventory continues to grow, but the number of new listings has shrunk. And the median time to contract is also up quite a bit. All of those things together, kind of when you start getting conflicting signals like that, that really means that the market is in a transition phase and it really is trying to decide where it wants to go next. So it's a struggle between supply and demand forces and money and people buying, people selling. And it usually indicates that we're in a in the financial sectors, you'd call it a consolidating market or something like that. But basically, the market is trying to figure out where it wants to go. To get into specific numbers here, because I always think specific numbers are pretty important to go over. So average sales price is currently $296,000 in Hillsborough County. That's up 3.5%. Median sales price, and if you remember your grammar school math, median means that it's basically the midpoint of the market. So half of the homes on the market are for sale for a price above this point, and half are for sale below that point. And that number is currently $247,000 for median sales price, and that's up 5.1% from May 2018. So that's pretty significant. So we're still have people buying overall in the market. I'm going to break it down a little bit later into the different price categories, because I think that's very important to see as well. These overall stats are relative. I mean, like they make good banners and good videos, but when you're actually looking to buy a house and using these to figure out what your negotiating tactic should be, they're really pretty useless. And the reason why is because this factors in $50,000 homes and it factors in $40 million homes. And those are 2 very, very, very different markets. So later on in the video, I always break it down by price category so we can see what's going on in each of those individual sectors. Median time to contract is one of the big changes this month. So median time to contract is how long a home stays on the market before someone puts an offer in on it and it is accepted. That number has increased 14.8% to 31 days. So things are sitting on the market for 15% longer than they were last year. And remember, this is averaged across all price points and all 5,181 houses that sold last month. So the number of new listings overall was actually down 3.4% to 5,598. So that means that there are fewer homes coming on the market for sale, but inventory was actually up 2.7%. That is owing to that longer median time to contract, so stuff's not selling quite as fast. The total number of homes available for sale climbs, and it's currently up at 11,162 for the entire county. Now, let's break that down by price point, shall we? So the number of closed sales. Now, usually I don't highlight closed sales so much. It is a indicator of overall market health, but especially on this first page where all of the price points are combined, it's very good for a very broad, but it's not going to tell you a whole lot. But I did want to highlight the statistic this month in the price categories because there was a very clear trend. So for homes under 200,000, there were actually fewer sold in May 2019 versus May 2018. And this is a little strange, and it's something I'm definitely going to keep an eye on because that should be the stronger part of the market. So if things are weakening in that lower market, definitely cause for something to keep an eye on and to see how that's going to develop. So compared to 2018, $50,000 to $99,000 homes, there were 35% fewer sold. $100,000 to $150,000, there were 8.6% fewer homes. And $150,000 to $200,000, there were 4% fewer homes. The weird thing is once you get above $200,000, that trend flips, and quite significantly actually. So from 250 to 300,000, those number of sales were up 11%. 300 to 400,000 was up 19.5%. 400 to 600,000 was up 14.2%. So the top end of the middle and the luxury segment of the market has picked up steam, which again, something I definitely need to keep my eye on. And it's strange that, because normally speaking, the 250,000 segment and under, or the $300,000 segment and under, is usually one of the stronger parts of the market. Like that's where most of the demand is. So the number of closed sales being down in that segment is definitely something to keep an eye on. Now, number of new listings. So this is people who decided to list their homes in May 2019. $50,000 to $100,000 was actually down 29.8%. $100,000 to $150,000 homes were down 10.8% to 448. $150,000 to $200,000 homes were down 8.2% to 833. So fewer and fewer homes being put on the market for sale in those price points. A lot of this is going to be as prices climb. There's naturally just going to be fewer and fewer homes in those lower price points. The reason why is, if you think about it, it makes sense. Everyone always wants the most money for their home. I don't care who you are. Everybody knows, about how much is left on their car payments and about how much their house is worth, no matter what you say. Yeah, so we're seeing fewer and fewer homes come on the market in those price points. But honestly, that continues through all of the price points. They're all down, with the exception of the $400,000 to $600,000 mark. That was actually up 10.3% to 696. So May 2019, there was actually fewer new listings on the market compared to 2018. Now we'll go to kind of the sister or the cousin metric, if you could, and that's going to be inventory by current list price. So this is everything that's for sale, not just new listings. So homes less than $50,000, there was a total of 15, which is a 59.5% drop compared to May of 2018. 50 to 100,000 was down 32.4% to 190. $100,000 to $150,000 was down 7.3 to 695, and then $150,000 to $200,000 was down 5% to 1,175 homes. So we can see that trend kind of mirroring the total number of closed sales, where 200 and under, there was fewer closed sales in May 2019 versus May 2018, and that holds through to this inventory number. Everything under $200,000, there was actually a lot less of it on the market. Makes sense, right? Now, above that $200,000 mark, a lot of positives with more inventory coming on the market. But, it's 8%. The big one is 400 to 600,000, which was up 13.9%. So let me break that down to you and then tie that back here to the original numbers. So the question most people ask at the start of the video is, how could median sales price and average sales price be going up when the median time to contract is also up and there's more inventory on the market than there was at this point last year? And the reason why is that last section of statistics I gave you. So the average price and the median price is being pulled up because there are fewer sales being closed in that $200,000 mark and under. That's naturally going to bring that number up. And then the inventory is actually coming more online above that $200,000 mark which is going to give you that larger inventory number. So like I said, these general numbers here don't really tell the tale. You really have to break it down into the price points here. So what does this mean for the home buyer? Well, if you're looking to purchase, honestly, like $250,000 or under, with that shrinking inventory and fewer new listings coming on the market, it's getting a little tougher to find great houses under $250,000. If you're looking in the luxury segment, things have gotten a little easier. So the market's really split currently, so far as how it's acting there. That might be good news. It's good news if you're a seller, because you're going to be getting more money for your home. Might be bad news if you're a buyer, depending upon what price point you're looking to sell at. Now, one last thing I always like to cover is the last page here, which I like to call the doom and gloom page. This page covers foreclosures and short sales. So foreclosures, everybody probably knows, that's when somebody isn't able to make the payments on their home and the bank takes it back. Short sales are when a seller has to sell a home for less than what they owe on their mortgage, and usually you need bank approval to do that, and it's a lot of fun as a realtor, let me tell you. It's taking a already very complicated process of transacting a home and then adding like 2 or 3 more parties to it. So, what could go wrong, right? The trend for the last many years has been a steadily decreasing number of foreclosures and short sales. That does not continue this month, but I want to preface these numbers by saying that we've had an increase in foreclosures and short sales, but it's not doom and gloom. The issue being that when the numbers are this small, any sort of bump or anything is going to produce an increase in numbers. So I'm going to give you the percentage increase and then the close sale. So I do another video for Pinellas County. I gave that same speech before. Because looking at the percentage change for foreclosures, if I say foreclosures are up 25%, you're like, oh, damn, there's some bad stuff happening. But then I explain, well, so May 2018, there was a total of 32 foreclosures, and then May 2019, there was a total of 40. You're like, not a big deal, not much to worry about. So just remember, whenever you hear percentages, it's always good to know, especially when it's big percentages, it's good to know what the actual number is so you can understand the context and if it's significant or not. So Hillsborough County, getting back to good old Hillsborough. So foreclosures are actually up 5.3% from 114 in May 2018 to 120 in May 2019. So 5.3%, that's not as crazy as that Pinellas County number was. But, any sort of uptick on that kind of gets my attention. It's definitely something I'm going to be paying attention to. I think overall we're kind of in a transition phase here, so we'll see how all this plays out. And then the number of short sales were actually up 3%, which again sounds significant until I say that that number is 34. So May 2018 was at 33, and then May 2019 was at 34. So that is the May 2019 market statistics for Hillsborough County. If you would like your own copy of these, I'd be happy to send them to you. I'll put a link down below. You can go there, sign up. I'll email this to your inbox every month so you can keep up with what's happening in Tampa Bay real estate. My name is Kyle Sasser. I am a local realtor as well as a Tampa Bay native. If you would like help finding your own great place in Tampa Bay, I'd love to help you. You can reach me at Kyle@sassergroup.com. That's KYLE at Sassergroup, SASSERGROUP.com. I'll put a link to that in the show notes below. Feel free to reach out. I love helping people finding homes in the Tampa Bay area. So once again, thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.